Alkaline 64 here, another racecourse, this time 3rd of September, back to Newcastle, 3rd time this year. I stopped by commenting on Race Train's issue in this second race. I gambled on favourite Twisted Dreams on a 15-8 favourite and started to wonder, I put on Twitter, where was Twisted Dreams? If he just wasn't turning up at all, and all the other horses were going, jockeys were mounting, and it's bizarre. I said I've been to a has a with.
Wait in.
Indeed. But I've been to every race course in Britain, plus one in Ireland, 330 odd race meetings over the last 6 years, and sort of the latest I've ever seen a horse enter parade ring. I remember Leicester, there was 2 horses, same trainer, about 3-4 years ago, and it's almost a big joke between people looking and wondering, well, when's these horses going to actually turn up? Coming to a parade ring in Leicester, it's a little nearer to Newcastle, and it was absolutely bizarre. Eventually the horse turned up, but BHA guys actually on his phone, looking across, and clearly he's wondering where is this horse? And he's looking across, and eventually horse turns up very, very late. The jockey, I didn't catch who the jockey was, I may put it up here, was almost like you see him playing a joke almost with the owner, saying, well, looking around mockingly, where's the horse? And as she turns up, does enter the parade ring. That's probably a fine, I believe. I think you horse has to enter the parade ring once, unless maybe been given permission not to, and I doubt who the horse was. That's probably a fine. And he ran an okay race, but came third. But I think there's got to be issues there. What is going on with that horse? I think Rebecca Menzies trained. She's based in Sedgefield, so it's not exactly like it's from from Cornwall. It's very odd. The first race, horse called Monash. You see some very silly comments on Twitter about people, I say probably, the majority tweeting from a mother's basement probably, saying Callum Rodriguez rode a bad race, he should have gone earlier, and he did, or horse or nothing. I was in the stands, the course commentator actually saying, literally, Monash isn't finding much. I looked at the replay after the race, Monash didn't find much, and basically horses naught from like over 21 or 23 races. And that situation, there's a good reason the horse hasn't won in that many races, and something might be a horse isn't good enough, but often as well it can be a horse just doesn't want to win, and the Monash didn't want to win. Simple as that. Nothing to do with Colin Rodriguez, it's just solely to do with the horse. Now, just I forgot, I meant to say after the Racing League, not the one meeting yesterday, the first race. I actually didn't come yesterday. I would have done yesterday evening. It was a good meeting actually. Come a social, basically in the Royal Society of Antiquities or Newcastle upon Tyne. Look at a new redevelopment of Newcastle Cathedral. That's the Protestant Cathedral, not the Catholic Cathedral. There are 3 cathedrals in Newcastle. The Protestant one, the Catholic one, at St James Park. But I was an interesting evening, but that wasn't why I would have been at a Racing League meeting otherwise. But the previous one, I went to the first one, and there was an issue I meant to mention, I forgot about it on Newcastle video. And that was the issues about some young men basically parade ring and making a lot of noise. And there's an issue here. I mentioned it, I haven't put up the yet, I think a video Windsor, where some young kids make a bit too much noise, and so some come away, supposed to come across to get them to keep quiet. And they were, I think I said to the parent, mother, I think it must have been, trying to do that. I think, well, he could have done it in the first place, maybe, but the young kids, they can understand that. And another young kid, I remember on meeting, a bit too much noise, yelling, Frankie! And Frankie just did that. He just said, not rudely, just saying, just please, this horse is fractious, you need to be careful. And it was, perfectly polite Frankie, just make it clear, you just need to be kids. Be careful. These are young men, younger than me anyway. I'm 49. These are guys, early 20s, maybe something like that. And a lot of noise near the far end of a parade ring. I'll see if I can sit now. Sit to camera round. Let's see where the chute going down to the course, and we're just edge of that. And they were just making a lot of noise towards the horses. And someone came across, and a word, I think maybe security, and another different type of security came across and had a word. They wouldn't really keep them quiet, right? Even so. And a stable I came across, and of course, some of the others, I was actually in the line winning for somewhere back in somewhere further up the course. So I couldn't hear what was being said, but he on body language, he looked annoyed. And I don't know if I've thrown out, personally I think it should have been. I think it's not so much to make too much noise, it clearly they weren't really paying attention to people, trying to keep them to calm down a bit. And I think in that situation, it wouldn't be the final race, this is like the 6th penultimate race that's happening. So I don't know if it got thrown out or just went somewhere else on the course, but it wasn't good. And I think you need to also factors, but it's just don't be a moron. That's a, but one thing I was going to say as well, what are ARC, the winning racing company, doing with promotions? There's this running, and I nearly end up to buy tickets to the Wednesday and the Friday with Ledger meeting in next week. Not for Thursday because I'm busy in Ledger itself. For Saturday, there's a couple of races I hadn't necessarily been to Wednesday or Friday. I think in the past I've been to those days, but I think some new racing, decent races. Ledger have been doing everything on that day. I tend not to do the same restaurants too much. I might do a Ledger back at some point. Oh, sorry, God, I'm my brain, old age. I'm going to Chester on Saturday. Actually, I might have gone to Ledger actually. I haven't been once. Might go again. No, Chester on Saturday and Musselburgh on Sunday. That's where I've gone to Ledger. And I know, and I thought it was offering half-price tickets, and I went to, I'll do that, for those two races. And then eventually I realised it was for 6 people or above. And I'm thinking, who are we in a racing company trying to promote this to? Especially using a phrase, and I have used this, gather your gang. Also, think a problem. I didn't know if the people said it, and now since then I've now realised what there is, I think, a problem with cocaine. Of course, I had a bit of a problem with cheap cocaine. Also, think of young men, especially, I suspect. And only having an advanced discount for 6 people or above, using phrases like gather your gang, who are you promoting it to? It's not, I think you're basically promoting to young gangs or young men. Using that maybe slightly loosely. Okay, I know it's a gang, can be. I'm not appealing to gangsters, clearly, directly using the word gang. But it still could be missing. You think you're paying too much to wrong group of people. These are young people. Young men, danger of these people be on cocaine. There's too much of. If I mentioned over in Hexham video that he had an issue with one of the prices they were charging. I'm realising, in fact, it was just they weren't very clear that to a charging with kids. But that's just because of COVID and lack of tickets. And the problem is certainly to go back to being free for accompanied kids after the COVID. But I had a kid, and I saw Racecourse promoting themselves like this. A massive discount at half price. I mean, this is half price, it's a common discount of 6 people or above. I doubt you should have some discount, but not to that extent, really. And sometimes a few pounds discount for a ticket, that's fine, I have no problem with that. I know groups I know have a problem with discount, but that's a heavy discount. Basically charging much for 6 people or for 3 people. Then you're promoting it to, and so when I had a kid, as I was saying by Hector in the video, I'll be wary of turning up. If you're basically clear who you're promoting this to, you're not promoting to families, you're not promoting to anyone, you're basically, I think everyone's thinking up now. And it's across the entire board, it's not just one Racecourse, not just Doncaster, it's everywhere in the Green Racing Company are promoting too much to not one type of people, I say that, but solely to that. And I'm not only wanting young people, young men, and of course you do young men, young women, ethnic minorities, and also ethnic minorities at Hexham, and I said that there's very few ethnic minorities. Next, there must be an issue of 20 years. I remember reading a Racecourse article 15-20 years ago saying you see more balding, so it's saying, with parading, we do ethnic minorities, as apart from the stable staff. But it's very rare. It was nice to see a few people, a few ethnic minority faces, because it's very rare you see. It's almost always white people, and you need, for racing's long-term future, you need, you can't just rely on the. I've been of a John McQuirk actually. I've had a missile case you lost, and maybe if we'd handled it better, might have won. If you ever look at the judgment, it's very bad for Channel 4. I can't remember exactly what it was. I might see if I can find the judgment again. It's a fascinating judgment. There's 2 Channel 4 executives that were eviscerated by the tribunal. I really was embarrassing actually with Channel 4. I mean, McQuirk, maybe if he'd handled it better, might have won. I think he held it. I think he won 8 discriminations, 7 fed dismissal. I think it was that way around. Maybe, I know there was a feeling he might have won it. It was going to be the other way around. But I was saying that one of the things saying that it was for down market horse racing, for down market people between 45 and 54. Well, I mean, I don't like to think of myself as down market. Maybe I am. But I mean, that age bracket, we can't just go to those sort of people. You've got to appeal to families, young people, old people, ethnic minority. You need to have people turning up and involved in and also involved in racing as well, not just that. And that's important. But that's an issue wider than Newcastle. Newcastle also are a winning racing company course as well, and I think it's not the cheapest ticket. It's not like meeting, £19. It's not. The racing league was only 20. I mean, he told me it was only a pound more, but it won't be a better meeting. But I just feel that a winning racing company, I have issues with them all the time, I'm afraid. And again, what are you doing? Who are you promoting racing to? And I think you're doing it to the wrong people. And see horses in pre-parade ring and then parade ring. The horses don't seem to be going much in pre-parade ring today in Newcastle, so it's something was happening. So I'll just do this instead and then not in parade ring. Next two meetings, as I said, are Chester week on Saturday, or tomorrow of course, and the Musselburgh day after. I hate Chester. Not a place, I was actually born there, although as I think the nearest hospital where I was born in 72 was the new Chester Hospital, and I was living in Norfolk Hall in North Wales. Now, and therefore I was born in England. Same issue with McLowan. That's the same reason neither of us could play football for Wales, is because we were born in Chester, which is the nearest hospital where we were living. McLowan still lives out in North Wales now. I have to say, one of the Welsh football team misses one of us more than the other, so in the history. Now, the issue of a racecourse is it's so badly managed. It's a racecourse, I've said a few times on Twitter and places like that. I think since Royal Ascot, New York, it's Chester. It's one of the very rare tracks, about 6 or 7, I think, which outside hospitality, the dress code at certain times of the year in certain enclosures of a jacket and tie. All the others are either a grade or a Group 1 race, in case of, say, Haydock or both. Chester has a Group 2 at Huxley Stakes, which that was only a few years ago, and basically it just thinks it's a much more important track than it is. Prices are too expensive. Bizarre line, and I don't remember if it was Chester or not, talking about dress code needing I think it's a well-pressed suit or something. I'll have to look it up online. I'm going to put it post a bit. It's just ludicrous. It's hilarious. No, and even more last week didn't really say all words like that. And I think some of us are joking. What we've got Gokul Wan on the turn styles, checking people before they go in. It's ludicrous. Chester's a bit of an embarrassment way to run the racecourse. I think there's other things as well. I say, but bizarre one has went one. I've been a few times. And the reason going is a listy race, and I've been to all the group of grade races I've said in other videos, bar now the new Libertine, the Mayor's Tiff Techno Festival, and I go for listy race, and I get cheap train tickets to Chester below 40 quid, so it's not a bad cost in Newcastle. So going there that day and then Musselburgh the next day. But really, I mean, there's another list where I'd like to get to Chester, but because of COVID, the tickets are sold out too quickly for me to consider doing then. I'll try and do that next year. City Wall Stakes, possibly. I'm not sure which one that is. I'll have to check that out. So do it some summer next year. But I was checking something about during the Chester May meeting, trials meeting, 3-day meeting, and I thought, oh, that's an expensive ticket for it. Clicked on it, and then I saw you could get a ticket for half price. I think, hang on, are you so stupid? That's a top question for Chester people from Racecourse. You don't understand that. I wouldn't have bought a ticket. I've not clicked on the information about the meeting. I would have not bought a ticket, because I didn't know it was half price. You search this over page, it's half price. You don't rely on someone clicking on a link on to the specific race meeting to find out it's half price. That's just stupid. That's the reason I went in the end, it was half price. I wouldn't have gone otherwise. That's a sort of ludicrous thing. Chester. Musselburgh, it's a nice enough track. Used to be called Edinburgh until about early 90s. It's actually in the Musselburgh. In fact, well, technically, although ironically, it's really in Wallingford. Nearest train station is actually Wallingford. I'm actually odd enough getting off in Musselburgh because I liked it. I think it's a nicer walk. This was life is alright. Nothing wrong with Wallingford. Musselburgh's a very nice place, and it's like a longer walk by about a quarter of an hour from Musselburgh station to Racecourse Centre, Wallingford. It's a very nice walk along river. I enjoy. I'm taking a nice picture. I take a video of it. It's a nice place. But I might have a pint somewhere. I think unless I haven't got the train tickets to hand, I think I've got an early train. I think I'm going on. So I'll plan to book, say, Scottish National Gallery or possibly Scottish National Portrait Gallery. Have to book it, I was saying, with National Galleries and other times. You have to book it a minute, just even for free tickets, you have to book just to get in. I love Modern Art Gallery actually, Edinburgh as well, but two sites. It's a bit out of the way, and over time we can do that on that day. But I've got a few, so I think I'll book to go earlier tickets. There. I'm planning at some point, I quite like the Arthur's Seat, trying to mix it with Arthur's Hill, which is Newcastle. but Arthur's seat, which I think maybe named after King Arthur. Arthur's in Newcastle certainly isn't. You can climb that, nothing to do with horse racing. Because I like to see what view Edinburgh is. That's for when I lose some weight, frankly, and also another time. But not now. I think you're back next summer, hopefully I'll have some weight by then, but I said by last year, frankly. But yeah, it's a nice enough course. And so that's Sunday. Chester's sort of rest week on Saturday. Same day as leisure. Musselburgh Sunday. York later in the year. There's a few other possibilities. Redcar. I tend not to do the same meeting twice, but I can get £5 at each way, so to speak. Tickets, Newcastle, Redcar, advance ticket. And so go to the Tour Trophy meeting. I did actually put up on Twitter. I thought, what on earth happened to them? Why the heck? So the minute BHA thinking we made £150,000 Tour Trophy is being won at 550. A few days later, I don't know if there's anything to do a comment I sent to them on Twitter. I said maybe not, but a couple of days later they changed the times to the sensible times. But BHA 1 point saying Gisborne Stakes for the first race on the card, which is a listed race, is bizarre. The massive £150,000 listed Tour Trophy, the last race of the card at 550, and it was mad. And now a couple of days later we changed it to sensibly in the middle of the card. It makes absolutely no sense. And any others? I should know. Possibly I'll go to Sedgefield at some point, Wetherby at some point, but it's because they're jumps tracks. So might do a Charlie Hall Chase at Wetherby actually. I was thinking of doing one earlier in October, but I think next month. But I think I'll do a Charlie Hall Chase. And Sedgefield as a Dub National. Again, I've been to those meetings before, but I think I might go again. I like to just pop to those two tracks. As other possibilities to be later on, Doncaster end of the year, but well, this is December. But others will probably come up. I'm not sure there's anything else offhand. There probably is, but I've probably now forgotten them. But that's it. So it's fourth race, and it's getting a little drizzly out here actually. So I might go and sit down instead of looking into a breakdown. I would never put anyone else going to Chester as a place. It's a very nice place. But I remember I was passing an antique shop doing one meeting, and basically a sign in the antique shop saying, sorry, we're closed from now on doing racing meetings. I'm afraid I just sometimes wonder whether too many pissed people or coked up people saying earlier go to Chester. I mean, personally, I say only going there because the list of the race I'm not been to. If you're going racing, I mean, you want to jumps. Obviously, Chester's a flat course. There was talk at one point, Chester, possibly being a flat course, a jumps course, actually adding it to, as well as being a flat one. Wetherby did that, and finally the year actually just I didn't know it was a flat one meeting at Wetherby, overlooked it, and I'd have gone to it actually. I'd quite like to get to a flat meeting at Wetherby. It's very rare, you see. But Chester, yeah. If you're going you want a decent flat racing in North West there, you can go to Haydock. And they want decent jumps to Haydock and Aintree. I just don't know some popularity of Chester, frankly, because in my view it's overpriced, overrated, and really it's badly run. It's not a arena racing company course, and so it's amazing to think we're even worse popular than some arena racing company courses. But Chester, you see, comes to Twitter, they're pretty negative about Chester and their attitudes, and really, frankly, with good reason.